From bringing fan-favorite characters back from the dead to the future of the mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, these are all the major cameos revealed in Deadpool 3. One of the biggest announcements for the film was made all the way back in September 2022, when Ryan Reynolds gave the fans an update, revealing that Hugh Jackman will reprise his role as the Wolverine. At first, this made for massive news, but it started to make less sense by the minute. See, he died back in Logan, which had every superhero fan sobbing at the theaters in 2017. So if he's being brought back for Deadpool 3, would it be worth ruining the perfect ending he already had? In a follow-up video, Reynolds and Jackman sat together to talk about the movie's details and to answer everyone's questions. Ryan started with explaining how Logan is still alive, saying that the events of that movie take place in 2029, but was cut off by loud music interrupting his explanation, making everyone realize that this was just another classic Ryan Reynolds joke. Either way, everyone is thrilled to have Hugh back, because clearly, no one could ever replace him as the cigar-smoking, short-fused Canadian. From what's known about the threequel, Hugh is likely to have a major role in the story, making things even more exciting, since this will be the first time we see the dynamic between these two on the big screen. Well, there was another time in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but we don't talk about that. Fans know that Hugh and Ryan are the best of pals, but it'll be even funnier to see them work their chemistry in costume. Now, this isn't the only character who's supposed to be dead, because rumors say that Patrick Stewart is coming back as Professor Charles Xavier. He was in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where he joined the members of the Illuminati to take down a deranged Wanda Maximoff. Unfortunately, his return was cut short since she was too powerful to face, but his death doesn't mean he's gone forever, since it was an alternate version of him. Either way, it's not like this is the first time he's died in the past 20 years. First, he was killed by Jean Grey in X-Men: The Last Stand, then by a Sentinel in Days of Future Past, and later by X-24 in Logan. Dang, can they give this guy a break? Somehow Fox always found a way to bring him back for the next movie, and the way Marvel could pull this off in Deadpool 3 is through the concept of the multiverse. Alternative universes have been a blessing to major studio franchises like Marvel and DC, because there have been so many fan-favorite moments since the trend started that you'd be disappointed not getting a cameo in a comic book film nowadays. So, since it looked like the Professor X we saw in Doctor Strange 2 was from Earth 838, or the one from the 1990s animated series, which the bright yellow wheelchair sorta gave away, it meant that this wasn't any of the previous versions of the character from the X-Men movies. So no one knows which version of the wheelchair genius will be in Deadpool 3. Magneto, on the other hand, is yet to make an appearance, because you can't really have Charles Xavier without Eric Lensher, now can you? Stewart said that the two of them aren't retiring anytime soon from the studio, and talked about Ian McKellen's reaction to Professor X's return in the Multiverse of Madness. Turns out Ian wanted in on the fun, and details of the upcoming Deadpool suggest that they'll be making their return soon enough. These two characters have had some of the best chemistry we've seen in a CBM, and it didn't really matter who played them since Stewart and McKellen brought the same energy as McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, making fans shower praise on both pairs. With all these characters set to appear in Deadpool 3, you wouldn't be surprised to hear about another mutant rumored for a cameo, but this particular one is pretty shocking. Remember that one X-Men movie that was in development hell forever, only for it to get canceled a year before its scheduled release? Yeah, well, Channing Tatum is finally suiting up as Gambit for a cameo in Deadpool 3. This was a long time coming, since his solo movie never even got a chance to make it to theaters. When Disney acquired Fox in 2019, the tone of the Gambit movie didn't suit what the bigger studio was looking for, and it ended up getting shelved for good. Tatum was so heartbroken after its cancellation that he couldn't bear to watch another Marvel movie after 2019. The dynamic Gambit has with Deadpool is like every other: friends, rivals, partners, and a lot of hilarious arguments. And having Channing in the role is just the perfect cherry on top. But these cameos aren't just limited to heroes and mutants, because Brian Cox will be returning as William Stryker too. In case you don't remember, he was the bad guy in the second X-Men film, which was cleverly titled X2. Now he could be the antagonist of the threequel, but none of that is confirmed yet. What is confirmed is that Cox will return to Marvel, even though he looks nothing like he did in 2003. After all, it's been 20 years, and the only one capable of not aging is Hugh Jackman himself. Cox has had a terrific 5-year run with the HBO show Succession, and people probably didn't even know that Logan Roy was once the enemy of the X-Men. Since every Deadpool movie completely tears the fourth wall to pieces, you can expect a ton of Succession jokes. So let's just hope Wade doesn't spoil anything for the people who haven't seen it though. Other cast members include another Succession star, Tom McFadden in an unknown role, Marina Baccarin as Vanessa since she's still alive, and Leslie Uggams as Blind Al. Halle Berry and James Marsden are rumored to return as Storm and Cyclops, but that isn't confirmed just yet. And the list doesn't end there, because guess what? Ben Affleck is back as Daredevil. Right after suiting up as Batman in The Flash, he'll be putting on the leather costume once more as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. This was quite a shock to most of the fans, because everyone thought Ben was done with superhero movies. But don't think that he'll be sticking around in the MCU, because that role belongs to none other than Charlie Cox now. After all, it's been 20 years since the Daredevil movie, and Ben has gone through a lot of physical changes over the years, just so he could look good in the bat suit. Speaking of, Wade is definitely going to bring up Affleck's time in the DCEU, and most probably The Flash. You just don't know what will come out of the Merc's mouth, especially since this is a multiversal film. There's an endless supply of material for the writers. The best part? Poor Ben's role is going to be 100 times more awkward now that Jennifer Garner is coming back as Elektra too. Before Elodie Yung in the Netflix Daredevil series, Garner held the too famous Psy in 2003 alongside her ex-husband. She got her own solo film in 2005, which did just as bad. But hey, people are revisiting these movies, finding them fun and camp. Jennifer and Ben sharing the same screen together is gonna be all kinds of awkward when you have Deadpool's loudmouth standing beside them. No one's sure what all these roles mean for the movie, nor do they know how much screen time they'll have. For all we know, all of these actors could pull a Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2 and be on screen for a total of just 2 seconds. Are these cameos important to the movie? Probably not. Are they important to the continuity of the MCU? Oh, definitely. See, this is how Marvel will bring the Fox characters into the MCU, whether they're getting recast or not. The Disney Plus show Ms. Marvel introduced the first mutant in the MCU, even though the twist ending didn't really please most of the fans. Deadpool and his friends will be fine additions to the bigger picture, but I don't really see Wade Wilson fighting someone like Kang. The other X-Men, on the other hand, could definitely take him on. So let's just hope they stick to keeping Deadpool as a solo series, with the character appearing every now and then over the universe. Cause who doesn't love more Deadpool? The threequel is set to release on May 3rd, 2024, and will be part of the 5th phase of the MCU. All of this sounds really exciting to say the least, and the future of the cinematic universe is only going to get funnier with Wade in the equation. So, from the future of the mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to bringing fan-favorite characters back from the dead, those were all the major cameos revealed in Deadpool 3.